YouTube, Tiddlywinks here. Anyway, my wife just informed me that one of her classmates, who happens to be a YouTube subscriber of mine, wanted some information on the militia and how to put his point across that the militia is not the National Guard, is not the standing army. So, very easy. Here we have the Southern Poverty Law Center, which probably isn't displaying the militia in the best manner. Of course, it's talking about Timothy McVeigh and about Waco and about everything else. But what it says, this was written in August of 2009. And here it says that we're going to be seeing just these horrible atrocities and a bunch of violence and threats from the militia. Okay, I want you to show me all the violence and threats over the past 4 years, please. Anyway, so I'm going to put a link in the description below to all these. But here's the most interesting ones. And it's the, basically, right here, the Wikipedia ones. A militia generally refers to an army or other fighting force composed of non-professional fighters. That means you aren't making money for it. Citizens of a nation or subjects of a state or government that can be called upon to enter a combat situation, as opposed to a professional force of regular soldiers, historically meaning members of the fighting nobility. Now, our National Guard, which is also referred to as a militia, we have state and federal National Guards. National Guard meaning guarding the nation, which 90% of the National Guard ends up their infantry's going overseas, which is not the intended purpose of a militia or the National Guard for that. National Guard's supposed to stay here and defend the nation. They generally don't. Most of our National Guard employees, although not full-time Army, are professional. They do make money, so they are not militia members. And there's just other little things, but here we're going to go over here to Militia Wikipedia of the United States. They have the organized militia, created by the Militia Act of 1903, which basically takes the Uniform Militia Forces of 1792, which is just your standard militia, citizen militia. You go in, you join, you're not getting paid, and you're going to kick ass for the country because you love your country, you love your Constitution. That's what a militia is. The Militia Act of 1903, right there, basically says that that's for the National Guard and all that. So they are a militia by definition of our laws. The National Guard is a militia, but they are not a citizen militia. They are actually a professional fighting force. Then we have the reserve or unorganized militia, also created by the Militia Act of 1903, which presently consists of every able-bodied man between 17 and under 45 who is not a member of the National Guard or Naval Militia. Let me repeat that. Every able-bodied man that is of this country between 17 and 45 who is not a member of the National Guard or Naval Militia. Former members of the armed services are allowed to serve up to 65 years old and are considered part of the unorganized militia. So, citizens. Scary. Oh, wait. I hate this damn Windows 8 stuff. All right, let's go here. Modern Militia Movement. And this is just a actual militia site that talks about all the militias around the country. But it says right here, the duty of the citizens' militia to protect and defend the unalienable rights of all members of their communities. Under no circumstances will the modern militia movement tolerate those who advocate acts of criminal violence, terrorism, or change from our republic form of government. See, now we are a republic, not a democracy. But as of right now, a lot of people are trying to get us to become a democracy so they can win on 51% of the vote in the Senate, which is not how it works. Then we go, nor will it support any specific political party, candidate, or espouse any particular religious denomination or doctrine. All members must understand the duties and obligation of both citizens and government under the United States Constitution. So we got another explanation there. Here is yet another one. And this is just basically quotes. The militia, when properly formed, are in fact the people of themselves, all men capable of bearing arms. That's from Letters of the Federal Farmer to the Republic, 1788. Henry Lee. And we got, who are the militia? Are they not ourselves? It is feared, then, we shall turn our arms against his own bosom. Wow, I like this old. Congress shall have no power to disarm the militia. Their swords and every other terrible implement of the soldier are a birthright of every American. The unlimited power of the sword is not in the hands of either the federal government or state governments, but where in God and trust in God, it will ever remain in the hands of the people. And that was Tench Cox, one of our founding fathers, 1788. So that ought to help you with your school paper, and that ought to educate a few other people here. The militia is not the National Guard, and it is also not the Army of the United States. So Tiddlywinks is signing off. Hope you enjoyed it.